All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to tackle a really profound and, honestly, an often unspoken topic. We're talking about the signs and solutions for spiritual affliction, looking at it from an Islamic perspective.
Does any of that hit close to home? You know that feeling, that no matter how hard you're trying, something is just holding you back. It's this quiet struggle that maybe others don't see, but you feel it, deep in your chest, every single day.
I mean, that's a pretty startling question, isn't it? We're so conditioned to look for physical reasons, psychological reasons for our problems. But what if the root cause is something you can't even see? That's really the core question we're going to explore together.
So let's get into this unseen struggle. It so often starts when we have these feelings, but we brush them off. We tell ourselves to just be stronger, to just push through it. You know the drill. We're told it's just stress, or maybe it's burnout, or just a really long string of bad luck. But the Quran actually talks about a potential spiritual cause, Sihr. This is basically a form of spiritual sabotage, think black magic or sorcery, that's intended to cause harm. And look, I know we might think of this as something from old stories, but the source material here is telling us maybe we shouldn't be so quick to just ignore it as a possibility.
So how can you even tell the difference? How do you know? Let's break down some of the really specific signs that might point to a deeper, spiritual battle that's taking place.
And listen, this isn't just about having a bad month or feeling a little lazy. We're talking about a persistent pattern. You are trying, you're working hard, you're making dua, but things just keep breaking down one after another.
Okay, now this is what's really fascinating here. It's the cycle it describes. It's like a spiritual game of whack-a-mole. You finally get your health stabilized, and then bam, your job is suddenly in jeopardy. You get your finances on track, and then all of a sudden chaos erupts at home. It literally feels like every blessing has a short expiration date, like something is actively working against your peace.
Now this next sign is all internal. It's that slow, quiet shift inside of you. You remember having more energy, right? More laughter, more life. But now it feels like there's this huge disconnect between the person you are today and the person you used to be.
And this just illustrates that feeling perfectly. It's been described as dragging invisible chains. You wake up already feeling heavy. You're emotionally numb. Or maybe you find yourself snapping at people you love for no real reason. And there was no big trauma, was there? It was just this gradual fog that kind of settled over your soul. And if you're feeling any shame or weakness about this, you need to remember this crucial point. Even the most spiritually connected human to ever walk the earth, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was afflicted. He experienced this disorientation and confusion. So if it could happen to him, it's a powerful reminder that none of us are immune, and this is absolutely not a sign of weak faith.
Right, so this affliction, it doesn't just stay inside of you. As the bonds within you start to weaken, the bonds with the people around you can also start to break. It begins to poison your most important connections. And this progression is just devastating. A friend you've always counted on suddenly feels distant. Your words are constantly getting twisted and misunderstood. Small disagreements with your spouse just explode into these massive fights. It feels like a wall is being built between you and the people you love, brick by invisible brick.
You see, this isn't just some modern idea. The Quran itself points to this directly. This verse isn't just poetry. It's a clear warning that one of the main targets of this kind of spiritual harm is the sacred bond of marriage, and by extension, all of our other crucial relationships.
And this is maybe the most painful sign of all. We all have moments of low iman, of course, but this is different. This is when you are actively trying, you sit down to pray, but your body just feels heavy, like lead. You open the Quran, but your chest tightens. It feels like there's something physically standing between you and Allah, and no matter how hard you push, it just won't budge.
Now, after hearing all of that, it is so easy to feel scared or helpless. But this is where the focus of our source material makes this powerful shift, moving from diagnosis to pure empowerment.
So here's the crucial point, the bottom line. While the affliction is real, so is the protection. So is the healing. Divine protection is always, always available, and you are never, ever left to fight this battle on your own. And here it is. Here's your action plan, your spiritual toolkit for taking back control. First, your home. Think of reciting Surah Al-Baqarah as a powerful shield for your entire space. Then for you personally, the morning and evening supplications, the adhkar, are like putting on daily armor. And your own voice,
It becomes your sword when you perform self-ruqyah. And finally, cleansing your space, that just means being mindful of what you're allowing in, both physically and energetically.
And for anyone wondering, okay, but where do I even start with self-ruqyah? Here is a simple, incredibly powerful prescription straight from the Sunnah. You recite the core protective chapters, Surah Al-Fatiha, Ayah Al-Kursi, and the final 3 surahs of the Quran, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas. Then, you just gently blow into your hands and wipe over your body. It's a direct, physical way to use the words of Allah for your own healing.
Now, this is such an important piece of advice. This is a trap that so many people fall into: paranoia. They start suspecting everyone around them, letting hatred and suspicion poison their hearts. But listen, that is a distraction. Your energy is a precious, finite resource. Spend it on healing yourself, not on trying to find someone to blame.
And this brings us to the final and I think the most transformative part of this whole explainer. It's about reframing this entire experience. This question, it changes everything. Instead of asking, why is Allah punishing me? What if you started asking, what is Allah preparing me for? What if this entire struggle was actually designed to wake you up to a much deeper level of faith and total reliance on Him?
Just remember this promise: Allah doesn't ask you for perfection. He just asks for your sincerity. He responds to the call of the one in desperation. Your pain, your struggle, that is the very thing that can bring you closer to the ultimate source of all healing. I really want you to let this sink in. An affliction of this magnitude is not a sign that you've been abandoned. It's a sign that you have been chosen for this test because Allah knows you have the strength to pass it. He believes in your resilience, especially when you don't.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. This struggle does not define your destiny. You are not made to be weighed down by invisible forces or silent pain. You were created with the capacity to break free, to heal, and to rise so much stronger than before.